The views expressed in this presentation are those of the host and guests and do not represent the views of any lodge, Grand Lodge, appended body, or any other person or persons whomsoever.
Brethren, we are at refreshment.
This is good though. I do like this.
I mean, dude, okay, if I was there, yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's a beer.
All right, Wes. Story time.
So,
Story time.
all right. So this whole health thing is going on for me, and then my middle brother, he ended up getting sick. His heart ended up failing, and he ended up passing away in January. So obviously, I've been upset with that, and things have been going on. I've been upset with for a while in years. You guys have heard me complain, bitch, and everything about different things. And a lot of it was because of the pain. You know, pain will make you do fucked up things.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really will. And being in it for years and just lost temper, saying things I regret, you know. So I'm like, one day, not too long ago, I'm like, well, as you guys know, I'm Mormon LDS, you know, all the jokes aside and everything like that. So I'm like, you know, let's see what's been going on with my old religion. Let's
check in on the Mormons.
Let's see what the Mormon community is up to lately. Oh my God. So the first thing I get wind of is this thing somewhere in Fairview, Texas. They're building a temple there. The community doesn't want it there. I guess the church lawyers came in and didn't know they were being recorded by the board community of Fairview. I hope I'm saying the community right. Anyways, they record them and they played it for everyone to listen. And it was basically the lawyers in a roundabout way is, hi, we're the lawyers. You either do what we say or we're going to sue you. We want the steeple this high, and that's how it's going to be because of whatever reason. And that's that. So they had to give in to the church on the steeple, and it's an ongoing thing. So things may have changed by the time I'm talking about it, or by the time this episode is released. I'm like, well, it's kind of snaky. Wait a minute. I don't remember them being like that. Well, what the hell's going on? So I look into it, and I get into all this other stuff, all this what would be considered anti-Mormon stuff, and I start looking into freemasonry and Mormonism. I know that there's a link between it and all that.
Yours.
And one thing that shocked the hell out of me is that there are 9 different accounts of the first vision. Do you guys have any idea what the first vision is?
Is that when he put the stones in the hat and saw everything?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's a longer story.
Sure.
So the first vision is, and when it was given to me, is that Joseph Smith, when he was a young boy, he went off to pray in a forest near his house at this hill, and he wanted to know what church to join, and he saw Jesus Christ and God the Father. And they had a work for him to do. So I'm gonna try and speed this up for the episode wise. Sure. So some things might be off, but pretty much the gist of the story is he saw Jesus Christ and God the Father standing right in front of him. That there was a work for him to be done, and that an angel named Moroni was going to visit him or something like that. So anyways, this angel ends up visiting him, and then the story goes on. That's the story that was given to everybody. Well, come to find out that Well, that's maybe not exactly what happened. First, it was one. Then it was angels.
Okay.
And there was no, go ahead, do what you got to do. And I can't remember what the other ones were, but they all changed.
Okay, so there's a lot of recounts of his same vision.
Yes, and the church acknowledges it. A couple of them.
Okay.
But the main one is that he saw Jesus Christ and God the Father. That's what they sell everybody on. That's
Sure.
what they sold me on.
Sure.
Okay. And this is before I was a Mason and everything. I did not believe in Jesus Christ and God. It's all hokey bullshit to me. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Agree to
because I
disagree.
was always of the thinking, if there's a God and there's Jesus, and Jesus did resurrect and is still out there floating in the ether somewhere, he's alive, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's what the story says.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
Well, why isn't he talking to anybody today? So he's got to be talking to somebody today, because honestly, reading the Bible, I've read some of the Bible and stuff like that. There were prophets and priests and shit like that back in the day. So why aren't there prophets now? So when I heard this, I'm like, well, maybe these guys got it. Maybe this is it. And I was sold on it. But, if I knew that there were 9 different stories for the same thing, I might have questioned some things. But here's the kicker. Where did these stories come from? Well, they got to come from somewhere. Did he have a good imagination? Possibly. Depends on, who you are, if you're a believer of the faith or not. Well, treasure digging. There was always this thing about Joseph Smith being a treasure digger. Now, Benjamin Franklin, Freemason,
Yes.
said this about 100 years before Joseph Smith was even born. I can't remember the quote, but don't believe the treasure diggers, because they're never gonna find anything. Don't be a fool. You're wasting your money. Treasure diggers would go out with like the dowsing rods,
okay.
or seeing stones, okay,
Yeah.
and would see treasure that they could never get. Now, the treasure was always protected by some sort of spirit or angel, and these were known things back then. And I'm like, it was? Because I don't know anything about it. This is the first I'm hearing about it. And why does it sound like the first vision? Because the angel Moroni, after he saw Jesus and God together, came to him, told him that he had to go get this golden book, or these golden plates with this story on it, an abridgment of the inhabitants of the people here in America. And it sounds just like the treasure stories. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Okay.
All right. And I'm like, so I'm listening to all this. I'm like, I can't believe it. And another thing they said is that, well, part of the Mormon doctrine is the Book of Mormon, Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. Now, the Pearl of Great Price has 2 stories in it. One about the creation of earth and Moses, and the other about Abraham almost being sacrificed by one of Pharaoh's priests. Okay. There's facsimiles and real Egyptian stuff to this. All right. What it was is, I can't remember the year, but back in the late 1830s, early 1840s, before Joseph Smith was murdered, he had these facsimiles from a mummy, because he purchased a mummy. And this mummy, the mummy was real. It ended up coming from the French plundering and everything when Napoleon was warring out there and everything. So they know that it was real. So he comes across this facsimile and he's like, oh, well, I'm going to translate this. And he ends up translating it. And that's what they say he did, is translate that. And the thing is, now they're saying, well, maybe he didn't translate it. It was given by revelation.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Well, no. I was told that this was translated by something called the Urim and Thummim. Okay. So now he translates this. this book is out, and everyone treats this as it's gold. This is part scripture. This is all real.
Mhm.
Okay. So he ends up dying.
Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith. He ends up being murdered in Carthage, Illinois. Which is a whole nother thing. That's another wild story. Anyways, so different artifacts get split, and one of them is this Egyptian papyrus, and it gets parted with somebody's family. I can't remember who, and it gets sold off to a museum, who then sells it to the Chicago Museum. Okay, so it's in the Chicago Museum's hand. Then the Chicago fire happened. And this is the history that I was taught in church. Chicago fire happens, and the papyrus are lost. They're burnt in the fire. They're gone.
Okay.
So nobody has them. The only thing we have are the facsimiles that were copied, however they were copied.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess it was either 2013 or 15. And church said, "Hey, we have those facsimiles." And guess what? They don't say what Joseph Smith said. They said, "Wait a minute. So you had these things? Oh yeah, you should have known." Wait, what?
So what did they actually say?
I don't know. So I'm listening to what is called Mormon Stories. This guy John DeLynn. He's been around for a while. I'm not going to get into his whole story, but
is he a Mormon?
No, he was excommunicated for telling the truth. Like a lot of people do get excommunicated for telling the truth.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm being very honest with that, and I knew about it when I was in the church trying to figure some things out. And anyways, but so I'm like, they released this in just the 2000s that they had these since the 60s. Absolutely.
Well, but there's still years between there. How did they recover them?
I guess the Chicago Museum. If I remember correctly, because I'm absorbing what I've been doing the last 2 weeks. This is week 3, is absorbing all this information. So if I'm getting dates and stuff wrong,
Sure.
they're
all arbitrary.
Yeah. So I guess somewhere it was 1960, 1958, and maybe even when the aliens landed, that the church caught wind or they were contacted. Hey, do you want these things? And they bought them and they picked them up. Because the church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the richest church probably in the world.
Over the Vatican? Really? Okay.
They may have more real estate, but church has more money.
Okay.
They bought Apple stock.
Oh, did they?
There you
go. Oh yeah, they're set. In other words, nobody ever has to pay tithing again, and they can afford to pay each member to come to church forever.
Really?
This is some of the stats that I've been seeing.
How much they pay?
How true it is, I don't know, but I'm like, well, if they have Apple stocks, they got a lot of money.
If they bought them at the right time, yeah.
At one point, I think they were worth like $4 billion. I think I just heard somebody say they're worth $2 now.
Okay.
But
it's a turbulent market.
That's how it goes. So I've been like absorbing all this, because I went and like I happened to catch something about temple being built in Texas. I'm like, I should look into, maybe it would be a good episode for At Refreshment. If I somewhat delved into that a little bit more and see how things go. And so I'm like absorbing all this stuff when I'm hearing about my faith and what I believe. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was lied to, completely lied to. Everybody, wait. Everybody has a faith.
Sure.
Okay? Everybody has a faith. That's one thing. But blatantly lied to about certain things. And those are just 2 things. There's a number of them out there. Where, like, Joseph Smith, his main wife was Emma Smith. But she was number 22 that he was married to.
Okay. Rookie numbers. Yeah.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that. Not at all. That was news to me.
Lied to about?
Well, so hold on, do you think so? She was number 22. Do you think she was regarded so highly because she was most down with the movement?
I think probably because she was the lawful wife.
Okay, lawful help.
So okay, and yeah, because you don't know a lot of terminology. So there was, and I think it's Doctrine and Covenants 132, something about plural. It's all about plural marriage.
Okay.
And Emma was pissed off when she found out that he was with other women. Now we met, not Joe, Bruce, who was on for Onion Men.
Bruce.
No, who was sitting where you're sitting? Brian.
Yeah.
Said he's related to Joseph Smith. Now there's this thing.
Joseph, fact check that, but
yeah, that Joseph Smith didn't sleep with any of his plural wives, even though he was caught.
Yeah,
depending on
me neither.
Depending on whose book you read, you know, he was caught and stuff. So there's this thing that he was having these plural wives before Emma knew, even though the Revelation said that she had to know beforehand and she had to agree. But if she didn't agree, she would be destroyed. And those are the wordings in Doctrine and Covenants.
What does destroyed mean in that context?
Well, now see, here's the thing. Now the church is playing with wording. You know, what does translation mean? What does destroyed actually mean? What does darkness of skin actually mean? And I'm learning all this. So all this shit, I'm just like learning, and I'm like, you know, I'm like kind of pissed.
Why are you pissed?
Spent years of my life. You know, imagine, you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about. Imagine giving years of your life in service to something you truly believed in. Mm-hmm. You're paying dues on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, yearly basis, whatever it is.
Tithings.
All in a lie.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait. And you're given everything you do, your friendships that you make, you get more degrees. You're a leader. People look up to you. And all of a sudden to give that up. Could you walk away and just give up Freemasonry? Like,
no, of course not.
Okay. That's how hard it was.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I haven't been a part of it because I know drinking and smoking pot, trying to get rid of my pain, is a no. That's a no-go in the church. And like I said, when you're in pain, make you do fucked up things. And I didn't give a shit. I just want to be out of pain. I don't give a fuck if Jesus is going to love me or not in this church or that church or another church. I want to be out of pain. So I ignored a bunch of things for years. And when I was in the church, I'm not saying, oh, I was like very doubtful and stuff like that. I had my questions, kind of searching for things here and there, but nothing really hardcore. Even though, you know, I'm doing Freemasonry and this and that and everything. It wasn't until the pain got really, really bad that things changed.
What do you got going on, Mark?
Wait, no, I want to circle back to that. Well, no.
I got 20 seconds. Vote Victoria.
Well,
This is going to be a long
Round 5, guys.
No, hold on. Because this is getting interesting. And I guess
Later.
I guess the question, though, is, so sure, there's fabrication. Sure, there's embellishments. I think that's any religion, any dogma, anything. But if there's a couple things that aren't as factual as you think, is it still worth the story and the belief system?
Gordon B. Hinckley.
The water guy?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No. Gordon B. Hinckley, who was president of the church from the 90s till when did he pass away? 2000. It was the later 2000s. He said, the Book of Mormon is the foundation of the church. If it's not true, then this whole thing crumbles. I'm not giving an exact quote.
Sure.
Because I don't believe this shit at all anymore with Mormon stuff. But anyway, so if the foundation you built your house on, your church, your religion, whatever it is, your marriage, if you built it all on a lie, is it ever real?
Feels real.
Wait. It can feel real, but that's not what I asked. I didn't ask if it felt real.
I think he just
Because
started breaking
anybody
into
can
the plot
feel
of Total
anything.
Recall.
Anything with any kind of faith. Anybody can feel anything.
Athletic.
And I'm not trying to discount feelings because they do have a lot to do with it. But in this case, does it hold up?
So especially
If it's
because
built on a lie, does it hold up?
the biggest issue that I see as an outsider looking in is that they told you it was 100% real. And hear me out on this. One of these strengths, I'm tying this back to Masonry, and there's actually a line in the York Rite College about this in the ritual, that's symbols only mean what we assign to them. Now, when they say, hey, this is real, hey, this is 100% factual, take this completely real, not with a grain of salt, this is the realest thing in the world, that's where you kind of screw up when you should go, hey, this is good allegory.
Well, they got me at a good point in my life. I mean, I just survived being hit by a drunk driver.
You did?
Um,
Did you feel you needed this in your life at that moment? Is that kind of where you were and you're at a different point now, so you're looking at it different?
so after my accident, there was just a lot of things going on, and I'll be real quick about it, but I thought I had some religious experiences, but I really don't want to get all into that. We've kind of drugged this out a little bit longer than I kind of wanted to. I knew it was going to be